Hi guys, it's Donaylle from Woosah Holistic Health Coaching, and we have to have a serious conversation today. We might even have to lean in. I might be a little bit more theatrical than normal, but I had a conversation today that just blew my head up. It's about the fact that there are women who didn't know they are the prize in the relationship. I didn't even know that was a thing, that women didn't know that. And furthermore, I definitely didn't know that men were confused about it. See, I've been married so much of my life, I didn't know that the delusions of thinking that the man was surprised was a thing. I have never heard of that before, and I certainly never dealt with any man that thought that. So we got to talk about it, because I was on the phone for over an hour today pouring into somebody who didn't know that they're so valuable. They're so precious. Never would you waste your time even talking or engaging with any man who was confused about it. Don't even waste your time trying to convince them of anything. Why would you waste your time? Let them think whatever they want to think. Let them feel however they want to feel. But you don't need to engage, because you are the prize. I am so glad that I grew up in a two-parent household where I had a very masculine father who really taught his four daughters the value of being a feminine woman. He would say stuff like, if a man shows up, or a boy, because we were kids or teenagers, if a boy shows up here at this house and he gets in your car, he's no good. I remember vividly my father saying, do not mess with any man who shows up at your house to date you, but he wants you to use up your gas and he wants to put the wear and tear on your car. He's no good. My dad was so black and white about his four daughters' value, I never got that twisted. But what I didn't realize is how different it makes you see yourself for your entire life, until I started talking to all of these people one-on-one in my coaching program, and even just friends who didn't grow up with a strong masculine father in the home who told them who they were, and that just them being was enough. They didn't have to do, they had to be. So you didn't have to run yourself ragged trying to impress some guy. That wasn't your job as the woman. That was his job as the man, to impress you and make you find him worthy of your time and your attention and your focus. So there's a term that I heard 3 years ago, and I had never heard it in my life, and it was situationship. And I thought, what is that? I'm like, what are you talking about? I just asked you if you were in a relationship, and your response was, well, I would say I'm in a situationship. And when I asked, what is that? The response I got was so shocking. I'm like, wait, why would anybody do that to themselves? Why would a woman put herself in anything that was less than a top tier relationship? So one of the reasons why getting therapy of some kind, holistic therapy, deal with your trauma, unpack your stuff, deal with daddy issues, whatever it is because if you don't, you will find yourself in something called situationships, where you think that these crumbs that a man will give you is enough. It's not. You are the cookie and the cream. How do you not know that? Well, we don't know it sometimes because we didn't have a dad to tell us. We didn't have uncles or big brothers fighting for us, providing for us, protecting us, telling us that we were the most important thing and we were to be protected. Nobody could get near us because there was so much masculine energy in our lives letting us know that we were the ones deserving of being protected and provided for, because we were so precious. It makes me really upset and really sad to know that so many women are chasing men. And not only are they chasing men, they're not even good. They're not even top tier. They're like, ugh, gross. I was listening to a friend talk earlier about a conversation she had with a man yesterday. I could tell she was so emotionally depleted because she stayed on the phone with a dummy. Let's just be clear, he was a dummy. He said the dumbest stuff. And I was just sitting there, I said to her, wait, so after he said A, B, and C, you still stayed on the phone? Like, make it make sense for me. I don't understand. Why was this 46-year-old, 12-year-old allowed in your presence for more than 2 seconds? The minute that man said to her, and I quote, the man is the prize. It's always been that way and it always will be. Click. You don't get any more of my time. You definitely don't get any of my emotions. You don't get any of my strength, my power, my attention, my respect. You get nothing. Why? Because you're a waste of my time. Any man that talks like that, you don't get to have a conversation with me ever again. So I asked her, like, what is that about? Talk to me about your relationship with your dad. And we hit the target. When people have issues with their dad and their dad didn't tell them how precious they are and show them and protect them and provide for them and tell them what is allowed if a man is going to come anywhere near you, or a boy or a teenager or whatever, what is to be tolerated, then you don't know. You think that these crumbs and ridiculousness, people having side chicks and wanting to like sleep with you without marriage and commitment and all of that is normal, and take inappropriate pictures, and you're like, what is going on? And I told this woman, I said, is this what's going on? I'm like, I've been married. You guys, I've shared with you that my husband died a little bit over a year ago. So I've not messed with any men. I don't talk to men. I don't, whatever. I'm doing me right now. So I'm not in the dating world. I didn't even know it was normal for a woman to chase a man or wear herself out trying to impress one. I didn't know how many women are like so excited because a man is calling them, and so they feel that they deserve their time and attention when they're saying stupid stuff and they're being rude and obnoxious and not knowing that she's the prize. Are you kidding me? Call me old-fashioned, but I can't deal. And when I saw how depleted that made her feel, I got mad. I did. I got mad, and I said, this is enough. We gotta uplift our girls, our daughters, our friends, our whatever, are the females who maybe didn't have a dad to let them know their value. Maybe they didn't have an ideal childhood. Maybe there's a lot of adverse childhood events and experiences that they haven't healed from, and their poor nervous system is so messed up that they don't know how important they are in the relationship and how much they bring to the table. And so they're putting up with all this nonsense. A man that is so in his feminine energy that he doesn't want to provide, he doesn't want to protect, he doesn't protect her heart, he doesn't protect her life, he doesn't want to protect her health, he doesn't want to protect her emotionally. This is not a man. I don't even know what that is. But they don't deserve your time. They don't deserve your attention. They don't deserve any of your emotional power. Take your power back. Give it to yourself. Don't worry about what they think. You say, I'm sorry, that's not going to work for me. I'm not interested. Nice meeting you. Move on. Do not waste any more time thinking about this person. Guys, come on. We got to raise our standard. And the way we raise our standard is by working on who we are and working on self-love and confidence and realizing that we are precious. We are precious. And once we figure that out, we don't allow anybody else to come along and treat us any old kind of way. Like we're nothing, talking to us crazy, calling you out your name, getting loud. Unacceptable. It's all unacceptable. Don't get caught up in somebody's potential. Just look at what they are right in front of you. Look at what they say. Look at how they move. Look at how they treat you. If they're not calling you by a title, they're not that into you. Oh, this is my friend, and you've been talking or dating for 6 months, and now this is my friend. No, he's not the one. Move on. And why would you waste 6 months on something like that? Let's be for real. Let's not waste any time on anything like that. I feel so passionately about this, if you can't tell. These situationships have to stop, guys. They're wasting your time. I had someone tell me that they were in a situationship for 15 years. That means you've literally lost your ability, potentially, to even have a child if you want, with some guy who is just a waste of time. Guys, let's not do this to ourselves. It is so much better to watch paint dry, watch grass grow, than to waste our time in a ridiculous situationship or anything where you're talking to a man who is in his feminine energy and is not into you. Guys, we are better than that. Stop taking his crumbs and raise your standard. Raise your standard, because if you don't, you're going to get trapped in a nightmare. I promise you, you do not want to do that. Work on self-love. Pour into yourself. Nurture yourself. And then you'll know what love feels like when you love yourself properly. And so then when anybody comes along and they're not adding more love to your life, get them so gone today. You're gone. No, you don't get to talk to me. You don't get to text me. You don't get to hang out with me. You don't get to be in my presence. You don't get any of my energy. Nothing. You got to be worth it. That is my message for today. Because with Woosah Holistic Health Coaching, it's all about your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. And situationships, I can promise you, is not it. That will mess up every bit of it, including your health. It will mess up your mental health so bad, your emotional health, your physical health, all of you will be the one to suffer from giving so much of your power away to bad guys. We don't want no bad guys. Top tier or nothing. Be okay with nothing. Be okay with just being in love with life and being by yourself. Being by yourself is way better than being in a nightmare. I can promise you that. Please, in the comments, have you ever heard of a situationship? Tell me about it. And let me know how you feel about this, because this is important. And I'm being real protective of my ladies. We got to be protective of ourselves. We got to love on each other. We got to support each other. And we got to protect each other. Whatever, pour into each other, so we can really understand our value. Even if no one else does, we got to understand our value. All right, that's it for today. I hope you'll subscribe. I hope you'll like. Hope you'll tell me how you feel about what I just said. And I hope you have a great weekend. Good night.